Aries is the most personal sign of the zodiac. So in Aries, we come to our full 360 degrees of personal power. That's how we step up as Haru. And then once the Harus all come together in their full 360 degrees of personal power, is how we then peak in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a SARS energy, where we come to the abundance, because the planetary ruler of a SAR is Jupiter. Jupiter, the great beneficent, whatever it touches, it brings in abundance. So stepping up into a SARS energy, he was cut down into those 14 cycles of time by the father of righteous thinking. So he would not be prone, he was the son most prone to abuse his power. So he had to be cut down into 14 cycles of time, because the only sin spiritually is the abuse of power. So he had to be cut down, since he was the son most prone to abuse his abundance of power, in order to mature and how to use that power righteously without abusing it. Father Spirit's role is righteous thinking. He's the one who challenges us to teach us how to think righteously. He challenges us, restricts us, and limits us, as you were asking about P. Diddy, because he may have been playing the role as Saturn. Saturn is the taskmaster who challenges us, restricts us, and limits us, so we can prove that we can overcome those restrictions and limitations by staying true to our integrity. That is what Saturn does, is test us to see if we're going to overcome our restrictions and struggles by staying true to our integrity. And when we stay true to our integrity, that is how we pass the test of Saturn. And that is how he passes us over to Mama, who then kisses those wounds and boo-boos and make them magically okay. But Father is the one who challenges us just to see if we're going to overcome those challenges by staying true to our integrity and our character. You see, because we're not going to be allowed to step up to the abundance of our power if we're prone to abuse that power. We can't gain our full power, and then someone comes around and accidentally step on our toes, and we're like, how dare you? Don't you know who I am? Off with your friggin' head. That's what the universe is protecting us from, being able to step up in the abundance of power and then abuse that power. We're not going to be allowed to abuse our powers. When our predecessors abused their powers, they screwed up the world. If we abuse our power, it's going to be detrimental to the universe. So this has all been for us to learn how to use our powers righteously and not abuse that power. So that's why the father of righteous thinking cut the son down into 14 cycles in order to mature in how to use his powers righteously without abusing them. And this Super Bowl showed you that a SAR, Kansas City Chiefs, in this Super Bowl was playing the role of a SAR, Sagittarius energy. When they played the role of the Royal Indians, they were playing the role of Taurus. Taurus was because we got two energies for Kansas City, because it's Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. The Wakanda sat on the border of Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. Wakanda nations, which is the power of the ancient Royal Indians. So, and when Kansas City was playing the Royal Indians, they were doing the Taurus thing. But after 4 Super Bowls, out of 5 years, now they've become cocky. They become egotistical. And so now they're using their Sagittarius energy. They're a SAR energy. So it's for me to find out if a SAR was going to use his powers righteously, or was a SAR going to abuse his power. Well, he ended up abusing his power, which showed that he's still on the struggle half, the physical half of this process. He hasn't hopped the fence yet, because the emphasis on this Super Bowl was on the number 13. It was Super Bowl 58, Well, it adds up to 13, and they did an emphasis on the 13. The 49ers, add up 4 and 9, you get 13. The quarterback for the 49ers wore the number 13. Taylor Swift birthday is December 13th. So all these 13s was evident in this Super Bowl. And Kansas City did end up abusing their power. They used rituals. You see, they did rituals just to even get to the Super Bowl. There was a sacrifice on January the 8th. That stands out to me because that's my birthday, January the 8th. They did a ritual with 3 men ending up watching the playoff game on January the 7th. And they left later that night on January the 7th, and they found these men on January the 9th, frozen to death. So that means they were sacrificed on the 8th. And then we're in the 8th year, 2024 adds up to 8. So the number for transitioning from one level to the next level, the number for completion and fulfillment is the number 9. That's the vibration where we complete a level and start a new one at a higher vibration, the number 9. So that's what's going to be next year. When you add up 2025, you get the number 9. We're in the 9th year. And also now we will be looking at the 59th Super Bowl, which adds up to 14. The reason Asar abused his power because he had only came together in 13 pieces. The last piece was the penis. The 14th piece was the penis, where it indicates his resurrection into his full creative and abundant collective empowerment is that penis of resurrection, the 14th piece that we won't see until next year. So he was 1 iota outside of fullness, wholeness, and completion, which is still in an aberrant rotation. It's still not whole. It's still not real. So that's why we got a neon sign from this Super Bowl pointing at next year as the one where Asar puts on his penis or his resurrection into the abundance of his power. He has to become complete and he has to become whole. He has to put on that 14th piece. Also, there's a movie, which probably a lot of you have seen already, called They Live. And in that movie, it's dealing with this Leo sun as we're evolving and exposing a real, true rulership. And remember what else is being exposed, you guys. It's a lot more being exposed here right now. You think about what Russia did and what Russia exposed. Think about other things that are being exposed, and understand that that's because this is the time of exposure. Leo, as part of this evolutionary process, everything's being exposed so that we can cleanse and purge and purify and heal and step up as the new rulers for the new Aquarian age. And the movie They Live lends to that fact, because in this movie, the man finds a box of sunglasses, and when he puts the sunglasses on, it exposes to him the reality that we're really living in. All the subliminals are exposed. All the aliens that are in the human bodies being exposed. Everything being exposed. That's what that movie They Live was showing us, through those sunglasses, exposing what's been hidden, illusionary, that's not real. And the thing that really tops that off is at the end of that movie, they're in the basement, they're underneath, they're underground, where they're doing their celebration, the aliens and the humans that have sold out. They're down there celebrating the fulfillment of this agenda, and they acknowledge as well that this will be completed in the year 2025. This movie was made in the 1980s. For them to come up with the 2025.
Wow.
And that's what I got from the Super Bowl. Wow. I feel like there's a neon. And then we got the eclipse. That also indicated the crossover.
Man,
And
you
the
connecting the
crossover,
dots.
yeah, connecting the dots.
Yeah, you are.
And the crossover. Now, when we Virgo is a pivotal point because there's two ways. You have a personal way with Virgo and you have a collective way. I already told you the collective way, where you do Taurus first, where you personally go in, define within yourself your
Right.
own self-value and self-worth. That's what you do with Taurus. They took Taurus, the sign of values, turned it into materialism. So you gauge your value based on what you possess materially. That's the external, materialistic use of the Taurus energy, the sign of values. The real use of the Taurus energy is to go internal. Earth and water are internal, and define your own self-worth and self-value from within. And once you do that through Taurus, the next earth sign, Virgo, is where you then cleanse and purify of false values to the matrix. After you went internal and define your own value and self-worth from within, then you cleanse and purify through the second earth sign, Virgo. Virgo is where you unplug from the matrix, where then you can access the last earth sign, Capricorn, where you step up to the integrity and the character of the highest value as the high priestess, as the princess of the royal family through the cardinal sign of Capricorn, the last cardinal sign. That is the collective way. The individual way through Virgo, Virgo being the last sign in the physical half. You got Leo and Virgo, the last two signs in the physical half. And that is where the Virgin Mama, Virgo, cleanses and purifies the Leo sun of false values to the matrix and unplugs from the matrix, and now can ascend above the horizon line to the spiritual half through Libra, where you now get into an individual partnership with your own spirit through Libra. And I already mentioned that once you get into your individual partnership with your own spirit through Libra, you come to your individual Christhood, and then you come to balance with other twin souls that are in balance with their spirit, and that is how you then bond through Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of bonding. So the next energy after Libra is Scorpio, where you'll now bond as twin souls. Once you've gotten in balance with your own spirit, then you bond as twin souls through Scorpio. The intensity, and Scorpio being a water sign, emotional. So the intensity of that emotional bonding of the twin souls activates the transformation, which the Mayans call the crossover, that crosses you over to the great creative place of Sagittarius, where you come to the abundance of your creative powers and access your blessings. So there's two pivotal points from Virgo, where we collectively, from the earth element, from Taurus to Virgo to Capricorn, and then there's the individual, where you ascend after you've been cleansed and purified of false values. The Virgin Mama cleanses and purifies that Leo sun, where he can now ascend above that horizon line into the spiritual half through Libra and get into that partnership with your own spirit. Now, Libra is the sign of peace. So that means once you have gotten in partnership with your spirit, and once you've done everything you know to do, once you've done everything you know to do, that is when you pass that baton to your spirit. You tag your spiritual partner. You come out of the ring, your spirit goes in the ring symbolically. It will access the energy from the universe that will match the investment you've made on the physical half. And when it's matched the investment as your spiritual partner, that is when you're ready to complete and fulfill your purpose. So partnering with your spirit, that's the only thing you need to do right now, is get into that equal partner to our spirit. We all talk about, yeah, I'm already in tune with my spirit, but we're giving lip service to our spirit. We have to be in equal partnership with our spirit. We've already done our half. You don't blend energy. We've been the half of sacrifice and struggle. Now we got to let spirit do its half. It's the half that knows. It's the half that can look around corners you can't. It's the half that has access to the subconscious, your spiritual ancestors, that can access that soul realm, So now that is the partner that needs to take the wheel right now. We've been driving. Now it's time for our spirit to drive. It's time for the physicality to take the back seat to our spirit. Your spirit is going to be your opposite sign. That is the energy that's going to represent your spiritual energy. And now you have to pass that baton and let your spirit position you to step you up to this next level. It does that through that Taurus Scorpio axis of energy on that fixed cross, transforming your values, stepping you up to a new level. Your spirit is the one that's going to position you, guide you, teach you, and prove all this to you. I always tell people how to tell the difference between when your spirit is guiding you and when your own mind is guiding you. It's a difference. They're both air elements, so it can be confusing. How do I know when it's my own mind versus my spirit? The way you know is that the more bizarre you get your message, the more you know it's your spirit, because it's trying to adapt you to an opposite reality. Spirit is opposite the physical. It's going to seem bizarre. It's going to seem crazy. Your mind is programmed to logic and reason. So your mind is going to be the one programmed with logic and reason. Your spirit is going to take you beyond logic and reason. Your spirit is going to give you a message that is bizarre to catch your attention. The more bizarre you get the message, the more you know it's your spirit. Like I tell people, you could be riding down the street with a question on your mind and a billboard pops up and answer it. That is spirit. Or you could wake up in the middle of the night, look at the clock, get a numerology message, get up that morning, get in your car, drive down your street, and then a car pulls in front of you with those same numbers on its license plate. That is spirit. That is how spirit catches your attention. And that is when it's guiding you in symbolism. So you have to now trust the things you've been taught not to trust in this land of logic and reason. That's how we've been programmed, in logic and reason. Now you have to go beyond your logic and reason. And it's your spirit that's going to put you there, give you the demonstration, give you the guidance, give you the proof. It's your spirit's half that's going to do that. It's not trying to teach you to know. So stop trying to figure it out. Once you pass that baton to your spirit, you sit back secure and at peace. And let your spirit do its half. Let your spirit prove its half. That's where it'll show you the magic. But if you think you can figure it out for yourself, what do you need mama's magic for? So you got to know that it was futile, that there was nothing more you could know to do before your spirit connected you to your soul realm and the magic of your ancestors in order to prove that it is now what your spirit is bringing to the table, and it's half of the operation. So your spirit is going to be the one. It doesn't want you to know. It doesn't want you to try to figure it out, because if you think you know, then you get in the way. Well, shouldn't this be going on over here? Shouldn't something be happening over there? And when it doesn't happen the way you think you know it's supposed to happen, that's when you get disillusioned. And that's when you start entertaining doubts, fears, and guilts. That's when you undermine the process through doubts, fears, and guilts. Your spirit's not trying to get you to know. What your spirit is trying to prove to you is how you can trust your spirit to have your back, to look around corners you can't, to pull your coattail when it's time for you to make your move. I always tell people, following your spirit is as easy as moving out on what you feel till you run up on a brick wall. That's your spirit way of saying, make a turn here, and you continue to move to the next brick wall, make another turn. We keep trying to beat down the brick wall rather than following the guidance of our spirit. And when we follow the guidance of our spirit, it will prove to you that it's got your back, that you don't have nothing to worry about. Your spirit is the one that's responsible for positioning where you need to be, to proving to you this process. And your spirit is the one that's going to show you this. So a partnership with your spirit, and now it needs to take the lead. So doesn't want you to know, it wants you to learn how to trust your spirit. That's what it's going to prove to you, that you can trust your spirit to have your back, position you, put you where you need to be to step up to a new level. But all this is based on the spiritual principles of righteousness. That's the thing they're guarding against. You're not going to be able to use this power abusively. You're not going to be able to use this power egotistically. It's not going to work for you in that vein. But if you're standing up in righteousness, then you have nothing to wonder about. You can't be a tentative ruler. You can't send your power out, look over your shoulders, and wonder if it's going to happen. You have to be secure in that rulership. Right. That is why you have to be secure from within. The earth element, the first prerequisite to stepping up as a royal ruler, is being secure from the internal and a larger universal purpose being fulfilled. And we're just the individual vessels to manifest that energy at ground level or ground zero, the boots on the ground. So
wow.
Getting in partnership with your spirit. Don't abuse your power. Don't abuse your magic. Don't abuse your rituals. Trust your spirit. Talk to your spirit whenever you're confused, whenever you're trying to understand how to do what you need to do. Ask your spirit. That's the only one who knows. And your spirit is the one who will figure out the way to best bring you the message for you to understand the unique language that is creating between you and your spirit. Your spirit is the one that's responsible. What it's going to show you is the results you got when you walked on your own versus the results you're about to get as you walk in partnership with your spirit.
Partnership.
Out of the wrong path, you see. So,
Myrah, you was channeling.
I have a Gemini moon. I have a Gemini moon, and we're in Gemini, so I'm most definitely channeling. That's how I channel what Mama feels and then communicate it. Gemini is the sign of communication. Communicate. So I'm in my element of communication through my Gemini moon channeling. Yes.
I can't. Yeah, the people in the chat, they definitely enjoyed this live. That just partnership with your spirit is something. I'm gonna keep that with me the rest of my life, y'all. And when they say, words, and sometimes people say things that are worth more than any amount of money you could get. And that game right there, that those words, that wisdom right there, to be in partnership with your higher self. That's something we pass down to our children, fam. That's something I'm gonna pass down to my son.
Yes.
So, Sister Myrah, board it. I can't wait to see you in August in Atlanta.
Wonderful, because it's going to be so much more. All this stuff is unfolding and developing, and we're in the crutch of it. So you picked the right
time coming on here today, and I appreciate you coming to Atlanta in August. I look forward to. I definitely want to have you on one more time before August, before the actual event. So I'm definitely going to invite you on again before we do the event. But anything else you want to share with the family?
Just my pleasure. This is a momentous time, you guys. Stepping up. We're stepping up to the old has to go in order for the new to blossom. That's Scorpio's role. Transformation. Tear down the old for a rebuild of the new. So don't worry about what's falling down. And remember, you are protected. You're a royal being. No matter what's happening. I did a presentation in Houston when I first started my lecture series, and I did a lecture called Apocalypse Now, How Do We Contribute? And in this lecture, I told people, I don't care what chaos is raging right outside your window. You don't blink, you don't even flinch. Your lack of fear is your lamb's blood, and the chaos will pass you over. There's no fixing this. There's no propping it up. There's no making it work. It needs to fall. And you have to show you have no stake in keeping up this illusionary. And that is how the chaos will pass you over. Get you a bag of popcorn and get you a chair. Sit back, cross your legs, watch the show. Don't worry about what's happening out there. Not going to be able to touch you if you know. If you believe they can get you, yes, they can get you. But if you know they can't touch you, they can't touch you. Remember, hammer time, you see.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.